Well, I started off doing posters in the 60s because, as you can tell, I'm not 25. And I came across to Australia when I saw an Ian McCausland poster for the Rolling Stones, and I thought, that's a fantastic poster. I wonder who did that. When I found out it was done in Melbourne, I thought, well, I threw a dart at Australia because I had to get out of New Zealand, and it landed at Ballarat. And I thought, well, who the hell wants to go there? So the nearest big city was Melbourne, and as it happens, I met Macca, Ian McCausland, and I was even in a band with him for a while, and I just realised that this is the best, stuff that comes out of this part of the world is as good as anywhere else. Well, I used to design posters to suit the artist. What I did was, if I got a brief, like for instance, some of the music, it wasn't particularly my bag, but I would listen to an album, I'd see all the promotional stuff, and I'd get the feel for it, and I used to design the poster like a song. I'd say, okay, it's got a hook, it's got a bridge, it's got lyrics, it's written by somebody, and who's the artist, all that sort of thing. So each one of them was a song. So I used to adapt the style to suit the artist. So I never jammed the artist into my style as such because I didn't have one. I'd really, like a record producer, I would design it to suit the artist. Well, not a bear because they're always on the road. But look, I met Tom Waits. I met who else? I met Randy Newman, Taj Mahal. I didn't meet Bob Dylan. I knew all the Kiwi guys. I knew people like Phil Manning and Strange Tenants and Joe Camilleri and the My Six guys, Red Hot Peppers, Billy T, Split Enz, all those sort of guys. So I did get to meet some of them. I met Elvis Costello, who was a I must say. Not everybody was a wonderful person, and I met Bono out of U2 with B.B. King. That was pretty good. Some of them were interesting. Some of them just had, they'd been on the road too long, and they were just, someone wheels and, oh, this is the guy that did your post, and he'd go, oh yeah. It's just part of the team that puts them together. But yeah, I met some interesting ones. Yeah. Well, look, the interesting thing about that was, recently, about 2 years ago, my daughter died, and I came to Melbourne to sort of be with her at the end. And I was staying with a friend of mine, Shane Maloney, who I used to do a column with him in the monthly. We did it for about 9 years, and I stayed with him. Now, that picture is of him. He came in one morning, and the Age was wet. And so he just pinned it up on the clothesline and got the hairdryer out and dried each page. And I took a photograph of it, and I always thought, that might come in handy sometime. And sure enough, when your thing came up, though I came up with a few other things, I think that one was probably the one you liked the best and the one that engaged. And also all I did was just change the pages of the Age to posters. And for that very reason. And I think you guys, I did it in several ways, and I did about, 10 versions of it first, but I think the one we ended up with, I think that worked pretty well. I did a lot of album covers, and I met a lot of bands. I've worked with Mondo Rock, Joe Camilleri, Billy T with Ross Hannaford out of Daddy Cool. Let me think. Well, obviously those New Zealand ones like Mother Goose, Red Hot Peppers, Split Enz. I worked with Phil Manning. I knew Phil Manning quite well. He was a great guitarist out of Chain. Dragon, I knew the lead guitarist out of Dragon in the early days, and I can remember at the Melbourne market once seeing them come through the crowd, and because they're all over 6 foot, they just stood out because everyone else seemed to be midgets. And I hadn't seen them for years, and to see them all together, they all looked like 7-footers. That was pretty amazing. Strange Tenants, a ska band out of Melbourne, I think. And look, I knew some guys out of Jesus Christ Superstar. a friend of mine who lived out in Airport West, Russell Hitchcock, who was the lead singer in Air Supply. I was only talking to him yesterday. He's still in contact with me from America. He's a great guy, and every time he comes through New Zealand or Australia, I get to see him. Nick, that crazy bastard. Yes, I liked him straight away because he was a headbutter. I liked him. He said what he meant and meant what he said, and he's very animated. And I met him because he wanted to buy some of my posters. He came in because he collects. He asked me if I had any in my collection, and of course he struck me at a time when I was absolutely broke. And so he bought them for basically 1 6. So yes, he got he got some of my best pieces. But I've always kept in contact with him because he had a true passion. I mean, I met him through Mimo Cozzolino, who he used to collect postcards originally before he started to collect posters. And then through him, I met other poster designers. And then he went and reprinted a whole lot of the best of our posters in the 90s, I think it was. There was Graham Webber, Macca, myself, and I think some of them are still selling. In fact, I saw one the other day on eBay for about 65 US. Oh no, sorry, 650. So obviously people think this stuff is important. So there you go, Nick the Crazy Man. Yes, love him.